find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Denver Broncos and the Minnesota Vikings. 2-1-2 teams, each hoping to get back to 500, and we're underway in week 4.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone.
And they're going to start in a hole. Down at the 11.
At their own 11-yard line.
Hey, set! Fire!
To the air right away is Brady. This is intercepted.
Picked off by Pat Surtain.
And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football.
Wow, just one snap in, partner, and the complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field and a big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if it has lasting effects as this game moves on.
Now a first down carry, it's Williams. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
This defense for the Vikings, they played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Williams going to get it again on second down.
And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Broncos use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
Extra point from McManus is good. And it's now a 7-0 game.
Broncos 7, Vikings nothing.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the interception on that opening drive winds up leading to the touchdown, so now it's kind of time to start over.
Yeah, it certainly is in his first throw of the game. But I like the way his guys rallied around him. Oftentimes, the quarterback is the leader, right? He tells everyone what to do. In this case, he was his lineman around him, kind of patting him, saying, let's go, big boy. You're still our leader.
On 1st and 10, here's Brady. He's going to look deep for more. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Now we give up the middle to Williams. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
early down stuff to put this offense in precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They go play action with Wilson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Brian Asamoah working his way in to pick up the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
To try again after the sack, Wilson. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A breakdown defensively there as the scramble is going to set him up with a much more manageable 3rd down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, Wilson. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. That's how multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6. The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey on the road, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
And Brady going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Michael Ojemudia. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go to the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
McManus's point after is good, and that makes our score 17-0. So an early advantage now, and a good one. 17-0 our scores. They kick this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. Catch is made here by Irv Smith Jr. and past the 40 before he's out of bounds. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. Here's Brady to throw.
Complete. Jefferson the target. And they're going to get this up to midfield. Here's second and a yard.
They fake the handoff. Now Brady.
And this one right back into the hands of Jefferson.
And this is going to be another first down as he'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 28. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. The run only got a yard. Here's second and 9. Now Brady. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
And the Broncos force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
16 yards right off the bat and a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 17-0 our score after 1.
17. Vikings, nothing.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 36. They run it again with Williams.
And he'll take this down to the 33. So that was a very nice play, Charles, from a very speedy quarterback.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. To throw is Wilson, escaping the pressure right.
Throw right side is going to be caught by Judy.
And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 18. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. They'll roll him out right. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Out route complete to Dulcich.
And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the first down.
4th down, Wilson trots off, and on comes Brandon McManus for the Denver field goal.
The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice win for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points. But then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
That throw by Brady incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Brady. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
4th down, so they send out Trenton Gill.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And this will be taken at the 13. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
2nd and 11 now.
Wilson. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so, they're going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. He'll buy some time right. This will be caught. Judy. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And he'll work down inside the 45.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
14.
From the 44, Wilson.
That's caught left side by Judy.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Picked off by Jordan Poyer.
And the Vikings force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
Absolutely a golden opportunity missed there to add to the lead and really cap off an impressive drive because they've got the advantage. Plenty of time to add to it, but on the flip side, plenty of time for an opposing comeback as well. So when you have the chance to distance yourself not just so early, partner, you know you don't want to let it slip away.
This is Smith with a grab. And they'll get it out. Throwing on 1st down is Brady.
And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10.
Hey, second.
They're going to look to throw. Oh, he can't get away, and Brady will go down. On 3rd and long, it's Brady.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. And here's Trenton Gill on to punt.
44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. This is taken at the 23.
So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return.
And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Broncos are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line.
Wait a second, they declined the penalty?
I'm as puzzled as you are, partner. I don't understand how any time you lose possession of the ball, yet you turn down a penalty that would give you possession back. But let's make this simple. Anyone who plays the game, take the football. Always take the football.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. From the gun, it's Brady. Under pressure, they got him again. So we come upon halftime with the visiting Broncos taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. And how about this line out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway.
Well, not one you see often there as he fails to keep it between the sidelines, and that is a penalty every time, and going to give this offense better field position.
And it's every kickoff guy's nightmare, isn't it? Because you don't see yourself doing this, and most of the time you don't. It's absolutely a mishit, and now your team pays the price. Bad field position for your defense.
Following the penalty, it's Williams. They find some open field here. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
135 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Again, it's Williams. And he's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball-controlled football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On 2nd down, Williams. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score.
Javonte Williams His 5th rushing touchdown now on the year,
as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point from McManus is good, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27.
Vikings, nothing.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And not a great return here. He'll make... to the 10-yard line.
Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 10-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
The CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late. That wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
The Vikings send out their punter, standing right on his own 5-yard. And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second-half blowout material.
The first play of the drive there is incomplete.
And those two just have been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. On the counter, here's Williams. And they'll get him down right around the 16. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
Now it's Wilson. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter.
4th down, Wilson trots off, and on comes Brandon McManus for the Denver field goal.
The kick by McManus is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
Glad to have you with us from Minneapolis. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10.
Here's Brady. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Now Brady again. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
A big loss on the ball. Brings up 4th down.
Brady going to go on 4th down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. Now Wilson on 1st down. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Jordan Poyer.
And the Vikings are going to take possession here on 16-yard line. To be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game. But that's something right there. Still in the 3rd quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day. They're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
And Brady's throw there, incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains.
Brady's throw on 3rd down there is incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the 3rd quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
They stick to the ground game on 1st down. It's Williams. And able to use his stiff arm for a little bit of leverage before he's taken down. A pretty good gain.
Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches.
Here's Wilson. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5.
Boy, 203 yards rushing for him now on the afternoon as he just continues to pummel this defense.
They'll try and run. This is Williams. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
On 2nd and goal, standing alone in the backfield is Williams. They get it to him running left. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. On 3rd and goal, Wilson, touchdown. Jerry Jeudy, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Broncos are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they've built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. Nwangu now from his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the 4th quarter and a big deficit, Charles. But they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board. So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for it.
Brady now on 1st down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And incomplete on the deep ball.
We've seen that the deep ball has been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10.
Hey, check it.
He'll look to throw.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
72.
Brady to throw again. And now another one thrown incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The Vikings send out their punter. On, we think, to punt, though he's fake. And they're going to try this again. It's another fake. And this is caught. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. A big breakdown defensively there on the fake punt. Turns into a huge play and a 1st down. And I don't know what the method is to know when to dial up a fake punt, when not to. Whatever the method there, it worked for them.
I think you actually did explain it. There is no method. It's just a feel, a sense, and a healthy dose of guts in order to call that play in that situation.
Element of surprise, I guess, right?
Yeah, element of surprise and just a strong belief that, hey, we're going to get it done. We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And this offense on 3rd down today, they're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Throwing right, and that's complete. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 22-yard line. Again, it's Brady. And he slings one that's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10.
No, 66. Hey.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of them.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
And he's going to get this down near the 25.
To throw again on 2nd down. Brady. He rifles complete. Caught by Moore. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They fake the handoff. Now Brady. And now here is another interception.
And the Broncos are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
CD, this defense, man, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
And he'll get this one up to about his 14.
Stop made there by Brian Asamoah.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll try and run down some clock with Williams. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he will have the Broncos first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy. He came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
And now this defense trying to use the clock to their advantage. They'll take the timeout here with 2:08 left. And then they'll have another stop coming up at the 2-minute warning.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
And they'll run the end around here with Judy.
And some room to work.
And he will be taken down, but a big play there as it comes just as we reach the 2-minute warning.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They go play action with Wilson.
And that's going to be caught by Sutton.
And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Up the middle, it's Williams. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. He wanted that end zone. Powerful running, but he couldn't quite get there.
And that's going to really make him upset. And right now, there's no way he's letting a coach take him out of the game. He's going to want the ball again, so he actually does get into the end zone, hopefully on his next carry.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line.
Stop short of the goal line. 1st and goal.
They'll run it with Williams. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They give it to Williams, running right. And this play doesn't work at all as he's going to be marked down behind the line after the dive. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. try to run it in. It's Williams.
And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there.
2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
This is a long drive. Offensively, wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they're going to get this beyond 40 before he's taken down. One final try now for Brady. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by Caden Stearns. And the Broncos come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Charles, when you look at the stat sheet, you realize that both sides of the ball were so dominant in this game. And on offense, not only did they score it, but they did it through the air as well as on the ground. Everything was working.
And you know that the guys who scored the touchdowns, who contributed that way, either threw them or ran them, they're going to find our cameras and have a big grin for them. But I hope our cameras find that offensive line. How versatile were they? Move the ball on the ground, move people so they could run it, and then protected their passers so they could throw it.
So for the Broncos, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll drop down.